All right, welcome back to the program, 3:22 in the afternoon. This is the Eddie Burke Show, and I am your host, Eddie Burke. Meg Stapleton, spokesperson for SarahPAC.org, SarahPAC.org. Hey, how was the new political fund trust going, the defense fund for the governor? She's incurred, it's been reported, nearly $500,000 or over $500,000 fighting these bogus ethics complaints. Is that something that's been good for the governor?
Well, you know, the outpouring of support is just phenomenal, and I can speak to it only because Kristen Cole is the trustee to the Alaska Fund Trust, and I, though, as part of SarahPAC, get envelopes with donations to the legal expense fund to SarahPAC, and that we forward. And the notes, Eddie, are just unbelievable. It's, hey, in this economy, I've got $5. Please let the governor know. I'll give another $5 in a month, and
right.
Just and then others saying, I wish we could contribute more. I'm giving
Sure.
my maximum, and they just really believe in her. And what they're watching is, they're watching this just barrage of attacks, and the negativity and politics has really, really changed, and it's no longer just this forum of ideas and ideals, but it's just this, let's attack people and tear them down to absolutely nothing.
But here's the question is that the attacks we know are out there. Yeah. Is it true that there's more venom against this governor, against Sarah Palin, than other candidates? To me, in my opinion, there is, and maybe it's just because she's a hometown girl, I pay closer attention to her. Maybe I shouldn't refer to her as a hometown girl, but anyways, that's what she is to me. So, is that true?
Oh, I think it's.
And why? Why have you guys sat around in your think tank and thought, why are the attacks so? Why is there so much venom against Sarah Palin?
I think when you have, I'll just give one example. When you have a Florida venue that is set aside for 3,000 to 5,000 people to show up at a campaign rally, and 50,000 to 60,000 people show up,
mm-hmm.
Then you have conservatives who are worried, who want to run for office. You have liberals who are frightened to pieces, and you have independents saying, let me listen. And so you have this just phenomenon, and I will say it's a phenomenon because I have traveled with her a couple of times. In Evansville, the Right to Life dinner, I literally thought, how ironic, we're going to be crushed to death at a Right to Life event. I mean, it was thousands just pouring it around us. And then when I was there at the Alfalfa dinner, you have the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. You have a President of the United States. You have Rupert Murdoch. I mean, people in this world that others line up to see, and instead, literally, Eddie, the only line there, when I was with the governor at the receptions,
wow,
was to see our governor.
Right.
25 minutes, congressmen, senators, justices of the Supreme Court are waiting to shake her hand and talk to her.
Right.
People aren't dumb. They look at that and say, holy cow, we need to control that. We need to knock it down because whether you're conservative or liberal, we haven't seen a reaction.
Well, this is the big mistake that I think that these the naysayers are doing, and that is that whether you like Sarah Palin or not, she is a huge advocate for Alaska, and if you like Alaska, that these people are lining up to see her, they're lining up to speak to her, they're lining up to listen to her, and why would you not want her out there speaking on behalf of Alaska and driving home these issues that are important to us, the gas line, ANWR, and other resource development that we can provide national security. See, I think it's short-sightedness. It's national politics over state good.
It is short-sighted, and I think that even during the campaign, a lot of the key Democrats who also helped in the bipartisan effort to get some of these things for Alaska, they really had a great opportunity to say, yeah, I was a part of that.
Right.
And instead, they weren't thinking, they were short-sighted, and again, in D.C., I'll give it as another example. We're at a dinner at Fred Malek's house. She's sitting next to Dick Cheney, across from Madeleine Albright, and in front of also Dianne Feinstein. And they're having a very deep discussion about the stimulus package, its impact on Alaska, and what she needs and is asking for as governor, not pretending to be part of a congressional delegation, but saying, hey, as governor, these are some things that we need that you're not thinking about, that you're not paying attention to. Now, Madeleine Albright and Dick Cheney don't have anything to do with it, but Dianne Feinstein does, and Mel Martinez does, and others who were also at that party. And these were all discussions. And then it's, to the former vice president, have you come up to Alaska to fish? Have you talked about, hey,
Sure.
you know what, we could use some assistance with the gas line? It's constant. It's always Alaska with her. It doesn't matter who the audience is.
Mm-hmm.
It is, come visit Alaska. Let me tell you about Alaska. Do you know what we need in Alaska? Can I talk to you about
Sure.
what our future is? It is always with Alaska in her heart.
Let's take a call here. Meg Stapleton is my guest. She's spokesperson for SarahPAC. Vern on line 1, 274-5297. Vern, you're on with Meg Stapleton.
Yeah. A thought kind of crossed my mind. I had a couple of lawsuits against me in the past, and I found that countersuits kind of helped a whole bunch. Maybe she should acquire or talk to some bulldog lawyers around the country to create an attempted defamation type lawsuit, monetary based, so that when these people throw these things up in the air at her and try to make them stick, if they don't, they know that they're immediately going to get served with this kind of paperwork.
Well, what's the
in
Meg,
other words, attack back.
Meg, what's the political discussion? How does the governor fight back? Sometimes you want to, if someone smacks you, want to smack them back, but then you sit around and you politically talk about it. That's not the best thing to do. What is the governor's plan? What is she doing to fight back and clear her name as these ethics complaints continue to get dismissed?
Well, I think a lot of it is just educating people right now. We have been trying.
Go ahead.
We have been trying to take the higher road by saying, hey, look, this is just a tactic of the White House, of the DNC, of the DCCC. They have gone out of their way to pull in a number of Alaskans and say, hey, here's your role, here's your role, here's your role. They all have the grand scheme of things. And we've tried to take that higher road. I think we are to a point where we may have to say, you know what, this is enough. And if we have to stop it to the extent where we become more aggressive, then we have to become more aggressive, because it is sickening how Alaskans cannot do their work because of the inundation of frivolous complaints, comments, FOIA requests. Just, again, it's the abuse of process and abuse of the system that is designed to, of course, keep an eye on people, of course, hold people accountable, but not abused.
I don't want to hold you through the break, but I wanted to quickly, the book deal, is that done? Is it pretty well inked up? In the minute or so, can you give us an update on that?
Oh, it's really exciting, and again, kind of as you pointed out earlier, Eddie, this is the governor's just unfiltered opportunity to tell not only her story, but Alaska's story. She is so excited, and even her critics, I've heard some just say, you know what, this is actually really good for Alaska, because we're going to get a great story out there, and people who may have different perceptions of a state that is just as rich and wonderful as ours, they'll get a different idea now from the governor.
The only thing I hope out of it is Todd gets a 206 Cessna 206 out of it, and and then maybe he'll take me flying. That's the only thing I hope for. So, hey, Meg, I'm sorry. I know that's not politically correct to say things like that, but you know what?
When are you ever?
Todd can use a 206. Heck, I could use a 206. All right. Hey, thank you so much. Meg Stapleton, spokesperson for SarahPAC. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Eddie.
All right. We'll be right back, folks.